Hello and welcome, ladies and gents. On this one-part series, I will discuss on how I plan and implement my simple name greeter as a console-based application. Sit around and we will talk about it real quick. By the way, who am I? I'm Bisbert Austria, grade 11 student from ICT TBL 11A. Okay, without further ado, let's get started and let's go to the table of contents. So, part 1, planning and code flowchart. Quickly as it may seem, we're heading straight toward code planning and visualization. Is it necessary? I hear you asking, and I'll answer you with a resounding yes. Yes, in a sense that planning your code ahead of time actually declutters you when you are actually typing the code itself. First, because you have a predefined plan. Second, you have established the correct logical implementation. And lastly, you already knew the code lifecycle even before you sit in front of your computer. With that being said, let's open my LibreOffice draw and talk about my flowchart. So as you can see now, we have a very simple flowchart in front of us. Here, on the left side, on the right side of the screen. Guys, hey. Okay. The part are rather functional like start, variable, basic conditional operators, and print function. We will walk through this one by one by starting from top to bottom. So let's start. Gotta zoom in. Now and okay. Okay, start function. Okay, we'll start with the start function. As simple as it may seem, this is the actual time where our code will run or be executed by our computer. This is where the precompiled code we type in the past are now read through the use of binaries. We're not going to talk about compilation and binaries, but it's the part where the human readable programming language are bare metally translated to binary instruction. With that said, let's move on the first function of the code. Here, our code asks our user to type his or her name. Through the use of some C++ function, our computer get the keyboard input, and gives it a part of its own RAM. Now, as long as the user didn't type any information on the console, nor press enter, our code will not run, hence being suspended but not halted. Moving on in the future version of this code, I will implement some statements to increase the foolproofness of the code. And that's the odd reason why there's this diamond shape part of our flowchart. In this part, the computer will check the user's input if it consists of a legal character like integer, number, special symbols, or dollar sign or even a question mark. And if it does, our code will redirect our user here back to the code block where he is or her into. Okay? So, but since we're not implementing it for now, I'll just leave it grayed out. Grayed out. And that means our code is linear. No redirection and follows a top to bottom execution. Okay. Just like the first part, this part function here, the second one, can you just ask for the user's middle name and check if it contains any illegal characters. Checks if contains any illegal characters. And if not, it will continue the process through here. Process. And if yes, the user will go through the loop again. Like this. Yeah, sort of like a loop. This is also the case for the last part. I'm gonna skip the last box here, since it's technically the same as the first one. So now what actually we left is the print function, which is here. This is the part where the stored value of the user inputs are now displayed through the use of placeholder. Here, this is the placeholder of ours. Every parenthesis and plus after that are our variables or our placeholder. Okay. Plus, this is also called as a variable, no? Plus, it comes with a personalized greeting too. Here, the ingat thingy. Yeah, here. It's hard, guys, to be honest, it's hard to read a script. And that's pretty much our flowchart shows and the code itself. And I just add this part so we can better visualize our code works and how it behaves. So, if you want to see how the flowchart of ours looks like, here it is. So, to be start, this the start as the first name. Is it correct? If it yes, go to the as again the middle name. If it's correct, then yes. As again the surname. Then if it's correct, yes. And we'll now print the statement with the name of the user or the value of the user being typed, and that's pretty much it. Okay, let's go to the part 2. On the left side of your screen, please check the left side of your screen. And I'm gonna close this thing because we don't need it anymore. Okay, part 2 is viewing explanation of source code. Welcome, and we're now on the second part of this video, viewing explanation of the source code itself. To better understand our code, we can use different tools in order to see it. Where there's a good old terminal, here, where there's a good old terminal, like this, okay? A simple text editor, like this, or a good old full-fledged IDE, like this. We will cover all of it, okay? Okay. Whew. Side note, I know we should use Turbo C++, but I also want my code to be compatible on CPP Droid, so I go to this route. Also, I have a DOSBox installed on my another computer, but she don't want to be bothered today. She keeps on lagging, so I don't have a choice but to use other tools that's right for the job. With that said, let's fire up Visual Studio and let's start. Okay, here is the Visual Studio. Now we are on a Visual Studio environment, which really I love because of the night theme. As you can see, it's sort of a gray background. We will apply things that we learned on the flowchart and implement it directly on our code. I'll show you how the side-by-side comparison of the flowchart and the C++ goes itself. Without further ado, let's get started. By the way, that's the reason I set up a dual display today. On the left part of your screen is the Visual Studio code, where you can see the code itself. While on the right part of the video, you have the LibreOffice Draw, which displays the flowchart. It's also smaller, but in real life, it's larger. Anyways, let's start. Okay, I'm gonna scroll up a bit on our flowchart, and let's click Start. So now, the Start button here on the flowchart, on the right side of your display, ladies and gents, corresponds to the library initialization. What's the library initialization on the code? Here it is. Here. This is the start. This is the start. Declaring the code snippet is system-wide or main and starting the string length declaration. I'm going to talk about it in depth, but it's almost like that. Side note, though it must have a string length declaration, a C++ can't recycle memory. So we should tell it specifically what to do on how many RAM it should allocate for a given variable. Unfortunately, it's a must. So what I'm talking here is this, the defined length. We need it. We cannot live without it unless you use malloc function. Though we don't use it because it's so complicated. So yeah, that's it. Number 2. Okay. Please check on the right side of your screen again. As you can see on the right side of your screen, now this, I hope you're watching this on full resolution so you can see what I'm doing now. As you can see on the right side of your screen of your computer, we now on the second part where the user is being asked by our program his or her first name. I'm gonna highlight this now on the Visual Studio. Oh, here on the Visual Studio. And this highlighted code, this blue one of code, corresponds to the flowchart itself on the right side, the as the first name. Okay, so you'll see this in action in the later part of this video, where we'll have another side-by-side comparison on the code and console execution. So what actually I'm doing now is I'm comparing the flowchart, the visual one on the right side of the screen, and how we actually implement it on the code on the left side of your screen. I'm sorry. And this as the first name, pink box on the right side of your screen, is what actually look like if we type it on a C++ program on the left side of your screen. Okay. Third and fourth part is the same like the first. As again, as I say you, the as mid name and the as surname is like the first part of the flowchart. Okay, oh my god. Of the flowchart. Basically, the second and third block is like what the first block of the code is. But with the exemption of the block code 2. What's the block code 2? The block code 2 is this, the as the mid name. So what's your middle initial? What we actually do here is we will add a period after the letter being typed by the user, assuming that he or she didn't type the period on his or her middle name. So, with that variation, it's just technically the same, but we add the function of period. Okay. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Man, this script is so long. Okay, number 4. This is the last block of code. Yeah, here, this. As you can see on the right side of the screen, this is the last block of our code. As simple as it may seem. Okay. So now, let's highlight this in our Visual Studio Code. And here, yeah, okay. So this is the last block of code. Yeah, I know it's kind of hard to read. But hey, at least it works. I think programming should be. It's basically a print statement that will combine and show to the user their pre-typed response and adds a little bit of flair by by personalizing the output. What a nice thing to have during the day, right? Okay, the backslash with letter N. And here, as you can see here, this have a nice day. The backslash N, and allows us to sort of tidy up our code so the user will have an easy time to look up and use the console, which is over here. Yeah, it's console. As we know, console is kind of intimidating at first, but if you can learn it, it's pretty useful. TLDR is just for decorative purposes. Again, backslash N is just for decorative purposes and for readability. Okay. Let's go back to our program. Here. Let's go back to our presentation and let's go to part 3. What tools I use? Oh, hello and welcome back. I just take a quick break because may lalamunan sumasakit. Okay, let's go to part 3. Part 3, what tools I use? I'll try to be quick in this part. Okay, let's close the flowchart for now. Okay. But I want to share the tools that I use on this project. So first is Linux. Specifically Ubuntu, a very slim yet useful operating system. Feels fast on old computer like mine. Sorry, I'm just poor person. Number 2, Genie. A Linux alternative to Turbo C++. Since Microsoft hates open source software, it's fast, simple, and support common function without too much autocorrect. Number 3, Visual Studio Code. The best ID I can think of, friendly and never get a sweat. Comes with AI autocorrect and other bells and whistles. Okay, Qt Terminal. The good old Linux command line, perfect for nostalgic usage. Also, pretty powerful. 5. SSR. The best low-spec screen recorder on the right side of your screen. Never caused me any lag and it's so small so it's great. Number 6 is Qt Creator. Open source app maker for Linux system, comes with UI Designer. You're gonna see it later on the part 5 of this video, so please wait, okay? You're gonna see it in the first part. And that's all tools I use on this project. Part 4. Console program execution. Okay, so let me open Genie again. Here we are on the most awaited part of this series, where the code will be pitted versus the reality. The might, build, compile, and anything in between. This is where the slap of reality comes right and tell us F you. Without further ado, let's click the venerable button of compile and swear that we will be good for the rest of our lives. Does it really? Oh, fudge. Okay, here. For the rest of our lives. And yes, it's ladies and gents. Let's compile this first. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it compiled. Yeah. It's compiled successfully. It's such an achievement to see the code now compiled and ready to run. Guys, to be honest, this should be enthusiastic video, not this thing. Okay. Oh my god, everyone's cheering. My heart is pounding and we are in the beginning. For the last moment, let's click build and wait for what? And wait. Oh, wait. Yay. Now it works again. Oh, compilation finished successfully. Ooh. Let's now run the code of ours. Click on the gear icon. They say here on the script. Click on the... Oh, wait, nasan ako? Oh. Okay. Click on the gear icon so our code will run. Now. Okay, now we're gonna be hit. Ooh, let's now run the code. Click on the gear. Oh. Okay. So we're now asked for our first name, guys, if you're still here. So we're now asked for the first name. So let me give a little bit of a second. I'm gonna type my first name. So my first name is Beans Bernard. So actually my first name help me to sort of debug the code, so because I have a second name, so like well, that's built-in thing. So for now our code is halted. I'm gonna click enter. Oh, now nice. What's your middle name? Our code saying, oh, my middle name is B. I'm not gonna okay, B. Oh, I forget the period. Oh, it's fine. We're gonna add a period. Awesome. Lastly, enter your surname. Oh, I'm gonna type my surname as Austria. Oh, I see. Boom. After click, good day, Miss Bernard Austria. As you can see, our B are now with a period. This is our middle initial. We have a period. My first name is double word, and now it's here. It's now saying it now. It's now displaying. And have a nice day, Miss Bernard. Oh, thank you, mate. My first name is still there, even though it's done. And ingat. Oh, at least. Thank you. Yeah, and our code actually finished to do its thing. Oh. Wow. Kind of so personalized, right? Oh, I kind of forgot everything. Because it's so great, it's so great. So just to make a little bit difficult. And yes, it has all the feature you want. Like double first name, like Vince Bernard. And period addition and great user readability. As you can see, it's not that eyesore because it has white space. Yay! Woo! Oh, as you can see now, it works. You want to try it again? Sure. Click compile, click build, and click execute. Oh, what's your first name? Let's say that's my name again. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna use another name so that's not fluke or it's not gawa-gawa lang. So thing. And what's your middle initial? Assuming it's letter A. And what's your last name? Surname is Versailles. Hey, it works! Hey! As you can see, it works. That means our code is not cheated nor anything what it does. So, what's your first name? Elsa. What's your middle name? A. Awesome. Lastly, enter your surname. It's Versailles. Good day, Elsa A. Versailles. Have a nice day, Elsa. Ingat. So, that means it actually say that my code is working and not just a fluke thingy tiny. Okay. With that said, we're now finished on the part 4. Part 4. Okay, let's go to part 5. Go implementation of the code. Oh, I can still believe on what I'm seeing now on my console. But anyways, we still need to continue. Now I'm gonna showcase what this code look like on a normal desktop environment. Here's the screenshot of it. And now okay, so I'm gonna open my file manager since that actually is. That's there where the screenshot is. And here's the screenshot. Please, we're now on left side of the screen. Okay, so here it is. Here's a screenshot of it. Now what we are seeing now is very simple design that I made in Qt Creator. Sort of like Visual Studio on Windows, but for Linux. Linux. By the way, I just want to apologize that this is only a screenshot and not live demonstration of the application because I don't want to edit this very video for the reason that my laptop takes literally 2 hours just to save the edited video while maintaining a cool 95 degrees Celsius. So yeah, I'm sorry. But anyways, this is how it looks like. What's your first name? I still have the text console application. While my approach here is to show it on the user. So remember on the console application where we asked the user what's your first name first, but we didn't show the middle initial and the other question. The approach on the graphic GUI is we actually ask everything on the user, like what's your first name. We will actually show it to the user. What's your first name? Nice. What's your middle name? Awesome. Lastly, enter your surname. So that's actually is. So yeah, we need to show everything to the user, so it will help their eyes and their mind to think ahead before typing things. Yeah. So with that being said, ah, this application is pretty much it because I still didn't add any operation nor function on this very application here. So it can't do anything for now. Though I hope this is a good visualization of my basic name greeter if you want it to be usable as standalone application. Okay, so if you want it to be an application, not just a console-based application that needs a command prompt, you can use this. You can actually make this a standalone application like exe file or anything here like that or that like that. Okay, let's close this for now, and we are now on part 6, code variation. We're not actually near in finishing. This is the last part. Code variation. I'm well aware, please. I'm well aware that I sort of didn't follow the given instruction. This is not happen without any reason. I made this approach so that the user will still have the feeling of being in normalcy because their name will be written by them in a normal first name, first order. But with that said, I also made a version of my code with the correct specification just like on what we actually need to do. Here it is now. Wait, I'm gonna show it now. Here it is now. It almost never change. Here it... asan na ba ako? Here it is now. As you can see, we are now greeted and asked on what is our last name. What's our first surname actually. Then we are asked what's our first name. Then we are asked what's our middle initial. Okay. So, the creation of this is just like what we did on the other code, which is the original one. What we actually just need to do is shuffle the code blocks like this. We pull it like there, here, and here, and here. It's like just shuffling things back and forth, and now we are here. It's just easy as moving a block of code on the flowchart and passing it to the other part of the code. We are now finished. Hope you're still hanging around. I know you might ask, would it work? This original requirements, would it work? And it's a resounding yes. If you want to see the demonstration, here it is. So I'm gonna click the as you can see, this surname, this is a first name, this is the original one, not the other one that I made on the fast forward view kanina. So this is the original one that we actually need to do, and I made this as a personal edition. No one can see this, unlike this other one where I sort of share it to everyone. But since it's not the requirements, I don't know. But since this the original requirements, I didn't share this to everyone. So yeah, since let's click compile, and we are now compiled successfully. Click the build, so we have a cache, and click the console. So as you can see now, we are not, instead of asking what's our first name, we are now asked by our program, what is your surname? So I'm gonna type my surname. Then what's our first name? So our first name is double word, so I'm gonna type it here. And then tell us what's your middle initial. I'm gonna type my middle initial without a period again. And yay! Good day, Vince Bernard B. Austria. Have a nice day, Vince Bernard. Ingat. So as you can see, we literally just change which comes first on the code. So which comes first to be executed, and nothing else, nothing much. That's actually it. Yeah, that's technically what it is. We just change what it is and what is... nawala. Ang galing. Thank you. So, yeah, so we just change the order of the operation where on... what our computer will do. Just basic shuffle things. Okay, with that said, maybe this is the time to say goodbye. We are now part 7, closing remarks. Sadly, good things comes always in the end. And that means I'm gonna say goodbye for now. Thank you and good day everyone who's watching. See ya later. So okay, so guys, thank you for watching, and I'm very really appreciated that you watch my video till the end of my presentation, and thank you for hanging around, and goodbye. And also, by the way, sorry on my no effort slide because I just didn't plan it to be beautiful as possible, but I just want it to be effective. So yeah, so thank you, bye guys, and goodbye. And this video will not gonna get edited, so you'll see some application like simple screen recorder being recorded, and that's pretty much it. Thank you and goodbye.